starting with tech, I think that the most important things like the automation and AI is going to cause a lot of fragmentation in the market. But the reality is, based on our findings from the US market especially, is that you still need a mix of solutions. So you have to triangulate different solutions out there and have still a person that can translate that chaos of data and kind of present the results of experiments. In my opinion, experimentation, geo holdout tests, incrementality testing, these are usually the most reliable answers, like how to steer the capital allocation. For sure, the skills that are going to be still extremely relevant are going to be, ad creative strategy, content strategy. In my opinion, content strategy is going to be even way more important. Like now, you have to optimize content for humans and also for search engines. But now, we can see in our projects that there are leads attributed to large language models that people find us and find other our clients through using ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, all these platforms. And I think that it's gonna increase in volume, and we need to feed the same way how we fed search engine algorithms with the right content. And I think that there is space for a new type of agencies, or maybe some kind of new type of consultant companies. And there are already companies probably like that out there, and I've seen a couple of websites of companies like that, but they tend to be very small. Why? Because it's very hard to find people like that, and it's hard to scale companies like that. Now it's going to be more about understanding how the platforms work, how it all is connected, how tracking is set up, and what are the limitations of tracking, what are the nuances of attribution, what are we missing in customer journey. Like right now, even the most advanced multi-touch attribution platforms, they still cannot see what are the post view conversions. The fact that someone has seen some ad somewhere out there in connected TV or in meta ads or in YouTube, it's often not captured.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Digital, provided by MTA Digital, where me and my finest guest talk about things related to digital marketing. Today, my dear guest is Rado Kmita. There's usually a lot of titles regarding your person. So, founder of MTA Digital back in 2015, entrepreneur, team leader, marketing analytics geek. What else? What would you add to this list?
I'll definitely focus on the one that is related to being a digital marketing and web analytics geek. I think that this is the one that resonates the most with me. And all the other ones, yes, I'm an extremely curious person. I like starting things. I like testing, experimenting.
Yeah, definitely.
And then asking my friends for help and everyone around me, because, sometimes when actually I find that something starts to work, I ask for help because it's sometimes too much just for me.
Our digital expertise is sometimes too much to handle. So I think we can all agree with that.
Yes.
So today's topic, Rado is a person that we can talk about many things together, but on your wish list was to talk about future of digital marketing. I think that the whole point of thinking about the future is with you for these 10 years or even more. This is, as far as I know you in person, I know that you're a guy that always thinks about things ahead of time, like what will happen with this and that in a year, 2, 5, 10 years, even further. So I think that's an interesting topic to cover today.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that we can cover it on at least 2 or maybe even 3 perspectives. So we have a perspective of companies. How will they approach this future that awaits all of us. Companies, agencies, some SaaS maybe or something. Second perspective is more about the technology itself, in what way it will evolve. And the third way is about us marketers in this new world. So let's start with the first one, maybe about technology, because it's all about it. So
I think this is the best one because it will affect all the other things. Like the way how technology will evolve will affect the companies and marketers in the companies as a result. So when it comes to tech, and of course we cannot say the magic word that is in every podcast out there, which is called AI and automation as a result of this awesome large language models that I should add in the beginning that the most passionate thing that I'm about right now is basically automation, AI in and basically future-proofing our services, products, and trying to catch that wave. I think that this is something that is on my mind every day. And when you said that, I think about future all the time. It just comes from my nature. I'm just so excited about life and technology and the future. And when you listen to all these podcasts and you read all this information, you just want to take advantage of it and kind of try to adopt and adjust to the reality that you think that is coming. So starting with tech, I think that the most important things like the automation and AI is going to cause a lot of fragmentation in the market, and I would say that the fragmentation is already happening due to the fact that users spend a lot of time across different devices. And basically, there are more and more big platforms that roll out their own advertising platforms. And there are more robust and advanced web analytics solutions or attribution solutions or experimentation platforms too, which cause the situation that there are, like, I remember this one graph that represented all of the logos of a MarTech landscape. And I think that since 2018 or 19, it has like quadrupled or like 8x or something like that. And now it's like doubling again. So like the whole landscape is exploding. And basically there is no single person that can understand the whole landscape on their own. And so this fragmentation has been happening for some time. And what I think will AI and automation do to the whole landscape, it's gonna kind of flatten it. Because like right now, when you have agents and assistants in a couple of tools, it's already way easier to use them. Like you can just prompt to design and ask an agent to design you a specific workflow or kind of flow or write a script inside of that tool. And
you don't need to know the language itself. You're just talking like a regular human.
Yes.
And it's all done. So you don't need any knowledge. I mean, obviously you kind of like gain better results if you know how to talk with it, but still you can somehow get this knowledge with more questions and dive deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And this will cause the whole landscape to evolve because it will allow us marketeers, that this is jumping to the third point, like how it affects us, how it will affect us. It's going to allow marketeers to basically adopt new ad platforms, web analytics platforms, or like automation tools, or tools like Zapier or Make. Like they already have agents built in that allow you to sync all these tools together and integrate and flow data from one point to another let's say space. So you will not need web analytics expert or BI expert to connect with the data and then visualize this data. There are already solutions that basically can prompt new charts and new visualization of data after you've connected to let's say Google BigQuery or data warehouse. So it's already happening. So it's possible that you will not need that many experts to to work with way more tools.
So in some way, it's possible right now at the moment. So what do you think is the time frame of it being actually like, I'm not saying that it will take the job out of all BI specialists or et cetera, but when will it happen that the skills of these people will need to evolve to something different? So is it like, do you think it will happen in a year or 5 years, or maybe it's longer?
It's always that there's a small percentage of people that adopt new things very quickly, and then there is this, it's a bell curves. Mm-hmm. So basically you have a distribution of people who adopt technology very fast, and then there is a majority of people that adopts a bit slower. I think that the first adopters are already using that, and I'm not talking about ChatGPT or Claude. I'm talking about conversational BI, let's say, platforms, but there is a moat, there is a friction, because you have to integrate with these platforms, and it's again the same B2B motion sale process that all these companies have to go through, and this is a painful and lengthy process. And actually, it's not the technology stops. I mean, it will be adopted, but it just takes some time for some companies to adopt them. And I think that a lot of jobs will be lost, and I'm worried about that. Tech is going to flatten specific platforms that we used to use. Like you and me, we met some time ago, and there was a lot of manual work, a lot of work to set up the platforms the right way. Mm-hmm. And I think that now it's going to be more about understanding how the platforms work, how it all is connected, how tracking is set up, and what are the limitations of tracking, what are the nuances of attribution, what are we missing in customer journey. Like right now, even like the most advanced multi-touch attribution platforms, they still cannot like see what are the post view, let's say, conversions. The fact that someone has seen some ad somewhere out there in connected TV or in meta ads or in YouTube, is often not captured, even by the best multi-touch attribution platforms. And and in my opinion, it will basically become easier for a lot of. There will be AI is something that is a tool, and the more we focus on design of processes and not only design, like we design creative, but we also design processes. We design agendas for meetings. We design how different ad platforms and web analytics and the visualization is, how it's all connected, and what kind of story it's telling us, and what kind of conclusions we draw from specific experiments, how we keep experiments in a log or and so on. So we design every day how the whole machine works, marketing machines for clients, this is replicable, and it's a big design of a strategist, and then there are small designs of, let's say, paid search expert, and they design how it all works together. And the more you do the work related to design, the more secure you are. But if you're at basically a tool, a person that is great at implementing, then I believe that this job is the most endangered right now, because an AI agent is going to be able to come in and basically implement everything, the whole design that we design by itself. Basically, we will not need any experts to do this work. In my opinion, right now, like moving from the tech to, let's say, companies, I think in agencies or in-house, I think like at least 30% of the time of experts is still dedicated to implementation and could be replaceable, basically.
At the moment.
That's the minimum, I estimate. So I envision future of our teams as probably way more focused on design and implementing and connecting not only a couple of tools, but basically we'll be able to focus on implementation. Like due to this fragmentation and flattening of the market, we'll be able to like introduce to our media mix of like all the places where we spend money or where we invest money, because you invest money in content, in SEO and so on, and you will be able to focus on more things at once. So you will need some kind of approach and methodology to centralize this information into one view, and also understand all these things bit by bit, and know like how all these areas of marketing or data or growth, basically, how it's all connected. And this is a big topic regarding the third area of how we adjusted marketers. But right now, this is like what I think that is going to come to our business.
So the future of digital marketing agency is basically to become a specialized connector of all sources that are flowing in terms of marketing activities within a company, to offer this experience and guidance on how to deal with the data that AI is generating or helping us manage. So it's more about being on a macro level as an agency.
I mean, an agency is, you need a strategist that sees the whole picture from macro perspective and can imagine, have this abstract thinking of like this, like trying to visualize in his head, like how the whole machine on the side of the client works. Mm-hmm. Like what are the missing pieces, what are the cogs, and like how it's all worked together. And then usually in the agency you have different people responsible for different things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these people will need to be designers as well. So their scope of work, scope of responsibility will enlarge with time, mm-hmm. and they will become more like sub-strategists, basically in their own areas of expertise. And below them, probably there will be AI agents doing the work for them, that they design them to deliver. And
this is actually slowly happening right now, because like me and you, we were both Google Ads specialists back in the day.
Yeah.
Right now, it's taking management out of our hands, like Performance Max campaign as an example. You just put everything inside and expect to have some results, at least. And it seems like it's going that way even further. But what about, wouldn't it be more efficient for a company that seeks marketing guidance to have this strategist in their own in-house team? And this way, the agency is no longer needed?
It would be great if companies could have access to people like that. It would be so much easier to work with these companies. The flow, the meetings would be so much easier because they would talk and understand our language and all the nuances of attribution, data collection, tracking, the things that we don't like, the things that are not easy, that are not included in the data, and all the blind spots. Basically, every silo of data coming from different ad platform or Google Search Console or CRM, like has all of that, tries to tell some kind of story to us about the customer journey and what happened. But like usually the people on the other side, they don't understand the nuances of attribution, or they don't understand like that, hey, Google Analytics attributed that amount to meta ads, and
why?
I should believe it. Like, yeah, I think that Google Analytics knows what it's tracking, but then the strategist comes in and he should explain that, or she, what's going on, what are we missing, like what are the methodologies that we could deploy into our workflow that could with time give us answers and increase the chance of us being as close to the right answer, to the truth as possible. But basically it's impossible to have 100% truth and not to avoid all of the blind spots. You have to like learn how to navigate in like half blind a little bit and know your gut and know your experience. So the CMOs of these companies, they have like too much pressure and too many things on their plate anyway. Like I think that, this is something that definitely has to, they need a partner. They need someone that can come in with clear focus and bring in their methodologies, their process, their workflow, their tools, the things that they've seen that work. And I think that there will be still space for agencies and consultants. Maybe it's together. Maybe this strategist can be part of agency. Maybe a strategist or this kind of person that connects the dots and kind of translates the whole situation from the macro perspective. it could be a consultant. It could be someone that maybe there will be a new type of companies that will specialize in only in that, in experimentation, in this high level of like being a judge and of like knowing what kind of return on investment each investment inside of different buckets of marketing spend, marketing budget brings, because they can understand that what ad platforms say is something that, you have to like, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but they have their own methods like, experimentation, A/B tests, geo holdout tests, and so many other ways to double check if that investment is truly that you have actually a positive return on investment from that bucket. And then this person can like have a methodology and process to visualize all these buckets to the CMO, to the board of the company as well, and explain it's the what that consultant can see. And I think that there is space for a new type of agencies, or maybe some kind of new type of consultant companies. And there are already companies probably like that out there, and I've seen couple of websites of companies like that, but they tend to be very small. Why? Because it's very hard to find people like that, and it's hard to scale companies like that. And that's why I believe that fragmentation will proceed. This is one of the reasons, and there are a few more.
Okay, so I think that maybe it's that the demand on the market is really low right now, because like companies are somehow in between at the moment. So they don't know either they should still seek for the agency that does the job for them in terms of like all ads, SEO and other services, and maybe feel like the agencies themselves or maybe people inside them do not have this expertise and knowledge to help them actually on a higher level. And I think that this is a challenge for agencies. By the way, I'm thinking that it actually evolves in that direction. There are more agencies that are often represented by people that come from other agencies that were just bored, or they had enough in terms of like doing the same stuff all the time while the world evolves into another direction. And I just see them on LinkedIn or other social media. They just have different approach in terms of the strategy and mindset. But I agree that this is a really small percentage of the market at the moment. But to add to your thoughts, I'm thinking that maybe agencies will become like a hub or of certain things. So I expect that a future agency should have as an asset at least a few experts from maybe at least one industry, or maybe a few at least. I'm thinking that also valuable asset in terms of cooperating with an agency now and in the future as well will be the cost of like lower cost of using all tools, because agency can part it. Like it's more efficient for the agency to have these tools instead of just having it in-house, because the cost is just too large. So maybe, okay, we cannot afford it, but we know that you have this tool on your own. So maybe it'll be this connector. And to be honest, maybe there's also this opportunity that there'll be like semi-strategists. So this evolved profession from specialist nowadays to someone that knows more about the platform itself and how it connects with others, and is just more maybe specialized asset to this macro strategist. So you on a macro level don't need to know about all these details, but you have a team of people that had experience with the platform itself or platforms, and maybe you connect all pieces together.
It depends. For like in the short term and in the midterm, probably I would say yes. That this is going to there will be an interim period of time in which like people coming from different backgrounds, like Meta, Google, programmatic, like they will like try to step up and basically see the whole landscape and kind of explain what's going on across the board, like how your marketing machine, acquisition, how it all works. And of course, like we come from Google Ads background. So we basically evolved. We went through this path, and I see I participated in multiple projects, and I took this role of a strategist in like over the last 4 years, mostly on the US market, as part of our sister company inside of our capital group, Force of Nature, and there, like, I can see that happening because, like, in my opinion, the US market is ahead because of the fact that there is the fragmentation has proceeded there faster. That's one. Second is that there is a different culture there. It's here in Europe, companies they tend to silo basically different activities to different agencies even and different experts, and then they have like one connector called CMO that tries to make sense of all this data coming from different buckets.
So you're basically managing all these agencies and people inside your team to make the whole thing happen, instead of just
having the strategist on the side of an agency, or having a consultant strategist that try to manage all of these agencies, all of these in-house assets, agencies, like kind of, connect all the puzzles into one piece, one basically image. And I believe that CMOs lack this expertise of understanding, of tracking customer journey, attribution, and understanding the results of experiments that come from platforms like incrementality testing, like House, for example, or multi-touch attribution platforms like Northbeam or Rockerbox Triple Whale or Measure.com. These are tools that are not yet that widely adopted in Europe, which are adopted in the US, and they're being adopted faster and faster on that market, because it's obviously they have the highest budgets, and the pie and the market is bigger. Basically, that's but it's not only about the size of the market, but it's also about culture. And I've seen that in the US, in my opinion, it works better when you have this one centralized person that tries to make sense of all these investments happening across the board inside of marketing, in their marketing departments on the client side. Why? Because they understand the data tracking, the limitations of LinkedIn ads, of different solutions, and they can try to stitch together, even though this data is not truly connected, and try to make sense of it, and kind of be able to at least try to tell the story to the CMO and to the board, and propose them new directions. And going back to our market and in Europe, I think that the US market is ahead, and Europe will basically follow the lead, like as it usually does in many other areas of our lives. And this is about fragmentation. And I know that we also discussed internally many times about the fragmentation of different companies specialized in different niches, like industries. So that's another, let's say, reason for fragmentation, like specialization, let's call it like that. So the industries, and there are technologies, like there are Amazon ads agencies only, or like email marketing agencies only. So this will proceed, in my opinion, because there will be more and more different new platforms coming in, like Spotify ads, Brave ads, Perplexity ads, right? This is something that they are already testing and thinking about. And in my opinion, large language models will adopt similar monetization model as Google, and basically because they are way better in answering questions. And probably, in the beginning, there was no Google Search Console in Google. But with time, maybe there will be a ChatGPT console. And who knows? And this is going to be another data. So I don't know. Like I think that it will make sense from their business model perspective. And so this will cause even further fragmentation, and maybe we'll not need to be T-shaped marketers. And I have this theory about that, about coming to the third, let's say, pillar of our conversation about marketers. I think that marketers will maybe need to stop being a T-shaped marketer. It's going to be more of a L-shaped. I think that it's the L. It's like you have to, like, T-shaped marketer is about knowing a bit, like quite a lot about CRO, UX, coding. It can be Google Ads, paid search, paid social, right? Web analytics. You know a little bit about everything. And then you're an expert in one field. Like you and me, we come from paid search background. So that was we could say that we are T-shaped marketers because we were very strong in Google Ads. And then fairly good at all the other things. But the future, in my opinion, when we touched on it, like I think that we'll need to be more like these consultants, understanding experimentation, tracking, attribution, customer journey, and kind of stitching together this data silos, because there will be even more data silos data coming from different sources that are not integrated. That, you know, like CRM data and web analytics data, it's similar. And then you have Google Ads data, Meta Ads data, then you have programmatic data, and all this data says that there is some kind of revenue and presents number of clicks and spend. Maybe spend makes sense, but you know, all the other things, this data is not matched properly together. And there are solutions and platforms that try to do it, but they have their own limitations. And the salespeople from these companies, they come in and they try to sell it to the CMO and the companies that this is the solution to all your problems. Then now you will understand what's the true ROI on your marketing. But the reality is, based on our findings from the US market especially, is that you still need a mix of solutions. So you have to triangulate different solutions out there and have still a person that can translate that chaos of data and kind of present the results of experiments. In my opinion, experimentation, geo holdout tests, incrementality testing, these are usually the most reliable answers, like how to steer the capital allocation.
So we can call it, like, because AI will analyze data for us, we can call it, instead of data analysis, we can call this job as data synthesis. So you gotta connect it all together. I mean, obviously AI will still help you with that, because it also can synthesize data coming from different sources, but it still needs this human touch based on experience, especially, and on market trends and like assets of a company. There's a lot of data to get into the AI to actually get better results. So I guess that we can call it that way. But so this is the part where human touch is needed, at least in the shorter future. But do you think that, except from on connecting the dots, what else? Like, is it the only thing to being this macro strategist, or is there room for other skills as well? Of
course, I didn't mention the most, like the other ones that are very important. I just focus on the evolution of how we work today and how I think that we are going to work in the future. But there, for sure, the skills that are going to be still extremely relevant are going to be, ad creative strategy, content strategy. In my opinion, content strategy is going to be even way more important. Like now, you have to optimize content for humans and also for search engines. Yeah. But now, we can see in our projects that there are leads attributed to large language models, that people find us and find our clients through using ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, all these platforms. And I think that it's gonna increase in volume, and we need to feed the same way how we fed search engine algorithms with the right content, with the right content strategy. And we will need to go even deeper and try to build content strategies that are future-proof and will include large language models needs and try to optimize for that. And there are already trainings about it. There are already tools that include that, and the whole But these are the two biggest ones, in my opinion, that will continue to have the biggest impact. Of course, product and what we sell is extremely important. Mm-hmm. And all the features things and use cases what we can do with the product that we buy. What can we, the integrations, when we advertise a SaaS company, what kind of integrations it has, what kind of use cases it has. The more we describe in content, and it doesn't have to be it can be this, it can have this human layer, and then it can have this SEO layer, and it can have even deeper and large language model layer where where large language model reads all this and then synthesize that for some kind of CMO out there looking for a kind of solution. And then he gets a kind of a SaaS as a result in the large language model, because they have, for example, described his exact use case out there somewhere, and that's the reason why the ChatGPT, for example, listed that specific solution in the answer.
It seems like the job, or maybe the skill that is still ours instead of AI's, is creativity. I'd call it on a very general level, because it seems like you can connect it with many areas, like creatives in terms of how your ads look, or how do you design your website, or basically everything, your product, service. Okay. In terms of strategy, it's also partially creativity.
It's
about
design.
How
you design strategy, you design ad creatives, you design content, you design processes, workflows.
It requires abstract thinking.
You have to imagine how this whole machine is working together, and you can have top level AI strategists helping you to make sense of this data, kind of stitch it together. There are options, but you have to choose an option, and then you have to take this option. This is the one that I believe that will make most sense, and I believe that it has, based on my experience, the biggest chance of succeeding. And then, of course, our human nature is that we'll need to be better at politics, because in the companies and people in the companies, communication will not change. So we need to be able to spend more time on building the right narrative, the right presentation, the right flow, why we want to do what we want, why we think that this investment will make sense.
So everyone will have access to data, but not everyone will be able to speak about it in a casual.
Because now you have access to all these black box solutions, right? And you can but you don't trust it. You trust the SEM expert to tell you that, yes, we can trust this specific AI machine learning solution, because I know I've seen it working and I've seen it doing the right stuff for us. And then it's okay. I thank you for you being here, because you helped me to make the right call. Okay, if you say 10,000, 100,000 on that specific campaign,
I trust you.
This trust, this is what we need. And we'll still need that. And we know Google has in the realm of Google Ads have pushed for so long the black box solutions. And we the marketers were not sure. They had to learn how to trust it, and then slowly, and now the CMOs, they don't have the knowledge, you don't have the trust to everything that ChatGPT says. And in the future, maybe you will have slightly more, because it will become a better tool. But still, you need also someone to understand, to explain it to everyone, to be responsible for it. And that's still things that will be needed for. Maybe we'll be able to deliver more projects, basically, in the same, let's say, instead of 1 or 2 or 5, we'll be able to have 10. I don't know. Maybe that's the future. And speaking about marketers, when we are talking about chances and risks, I think that a lot in the future, because of this fragmentation of markets, everybody, all the platforms around you, and at the CMO, who's our client or head of growth, all these platforms, they will cold email him or cold call and say, spend money with us. We have this amazing platform, X ads, Reddit ads, Quora ads. I don't know, everything, all these places where you can spend money. And he's torn, and he needs an advisor. And in my opinion, the strategist, this role of that L-shaped marketer, will need to have a lot of skills from investing world, from finance, because it's the same thing. You basically build a portfolio for your customer, and you try to make it to have the highest return possible. And investing, the finance and investing, teaches you a lot of things about chances and risks. You want to have the highest the biggest upside possible with the lowest risk possible. So when you adopt that kind of thinking, you kind of learn how to filter out the right decisions from the options that ChatGPT or like Claude gives you based on the data.
So it's actually called right now. It slowly attacks the market. This position, which is called revenue operations.
Yeah.
So basically, you don't need to be extremely detailed about every area that company has and manages. You gotta know how to connect it all together to generate the most revenue for your company.
Yeah.
To use these assets.
That's in B2B world. Rev ops. That's something definitely that, I don't know, like maybe we could call it this way or the other one, or like it's all about human being that you work with. And if this person is passionate about investing, about mindset of like testing out new things, experimentation, curiosity, what's on the other side of that experiment and so on. And it can design the workflow and the routines for the whole team so that it could like remain the pace of experimentation. Let's say 2 experiments a month for 1 experiment, or 5, 10, I don't know, add creative experiments, A/B experiments, and to build out this, when you have like this, the technology is Stable Diffusion and it's like blurry. And then it's more clearly, like when we tested Midjourney for the first time, it's like in the beginning it was blurry and then it becomes more and more vivid. And I think that the routine and the workflow that this future marketer should aim for is to basically, you come into a customer, you have a like blurry image and then you try to make it more and more vivid, enhance it with every iteration, with every meeting, with every experiment. And and also having this finance investing mindset in their head, like all these components, in my opinion, are going to be crucial to future proof in-house and agencies teams. That's how I think that it will play out.
Okay, so about in-house teams, so pretty macro perspective maybe about the vision, how to approach it, because maybe some CMOs, marketing managers from in-house teams are watching. So my first question is about like what to do next about the marketing manager inside of this company. Like who would you hire if you would be in their position, or what would you invest in, knowing what's right before us, or maybe like what would be your perspective moving forward?
All right. So I think the best approach is to focus on the things that we control, and also have the like approach of evolution, not revolution, not chasing shiny things. And AI will not solve all our problems, in my opinion. And right now you have some kind of structure, you have some kind of in-house people working and delivering the results, or agencies or consultants, freelancers. But I think that one thing that I see that is inefficient is basically lack of incentive alignment. Like your goal is to grow your company as a CMO, head of growth. But often the deals, how you structure your team, your marketing team, does not reflect that. Because some people are just hired for a specific amount and that's it. They just care about delivering that amount, right? Let's say another person. And they are not like, maybe there should be more transparency. Maybe you should invite them over, like explain what's the big goal, what are we chasing, like what are the problems, and maybe they can like bring their own, that you can try. There is this process of consultation or triangulation of opinions, and listening their options and their perspectives from, especially when they are experts in, let's say, a specific field, can bring a lot of new ideas and directions. And then, like, some people are afraid of providing new ideas and solutions to their boss or to their supervisor, and I think that it comes often from the fact that, when you stick out your head and you propose new things, then you're asked to deliver them, and you're not offered anything extra.
So you shouldn't add more responsibility.
If someone raises their hand with good ideas, and you open the conversation and you transparently explain what's the situation, where are we going, what are our problems, let's map all the problems, and someone's someone is offering their help from the team. Maybe it's someone junior. It doesn't have to be someone crazy, experienced. But there should be some kind of incentive alignment so that all the people in the room could feel that they will benefit from the fact that they will go extra mile. That they will go and take new responsibilities, that they will go and experiment new things, new AI solutions. And I think that, having this piece of the success could be that thing, or you could like build some kind of incentive structure for that. And I think that allowing them to have some kind of their own budgets, internal budgets, and having them more autonomy to figure out on their own how they can get to the point where we want to be. And then when you see one person doing that, let's adopt everyone the same thing, because she clearly found a way to crack the code in that specific field. Let's try to multiply that. And I think that, being in the center, the CMO that is the judge of like everything that is going on, I think that maybe this could change. That's something that and especially in the world of AI agents, like, let's think about it. Like in 5 years, there are AI agents, or 3 years, that are better than human. But
some of them, yeah.
But they need the same thing. They need information, like they need authority, they need autonomy, they need some kind of budget, they need some kind of framework that they should follow. So there should be documentation of the people that have done it before them. And then you introduce an agent, and based on the documentation of all the things that have been done in the past, they can like draw conclusions from that. Maybe Firefly's recordings, like Note Taker, that records every weekly meeting. And this is some kind of documentation of what was happening in the company. And this documentation, like, people come and go in companies, right? And this documentation is actually source of truth of what worked in the past, what didn't work. And the knowledge of like what didn't work is extremely valuable, because a new agency comes and you have new CMO, and this new CMO doesn't remember that 2 years ago with another agency, you've already tested that.
And there's no one to think about it. And you basically start from the scratch again
and again. And AI and documentation and this transparency and this muscle memory, or like unconscious memory, organizational memory, can survive over longer period of time when you have that kind of structure. So these are two things that came to my mind when you said that, what the CMOs can do to improve their structures and their systems to make their teams more efficient and their companies more efficient.
I'm smiling because it really sounds like the organization that we're in. Yeah. So companies should adopt MTA solutions about organization and how it should work, leaning towards teal colors instead of red maybe, but surely there'll be still a large percent of so-called red companies. Organizations.
It's not about these colors or ideology of like how you want to structure company differently. Like, it's about, I don't know, it just makes sense. It feels like it's more efficient.
Yeah, it seems like it's less about the structure, it's more about the culture.
Yeah.
To embrace this culture of transparency, but without like no strings attached in terms of responsibilities, without proper incentive that comes with that.
Yeah.
So to have this open environment that can share ideas and to learn from these findings that they had.
Because like now when we are talking about the incentive structures, when it's clear, when it's transparent, when it doesn't fluctuate and changes based on the mood of a chairman or CEO, you've got that, and there is like, it's when it's clear and it's fairly simple to understand. It's very hard to design it the right way. But then what happens, in my opinion, is less politics, less people being afraid of something, and actually the culture, especially in the design or creativity, like you have to create workflows, dashboards, you have to integrate the data, you have to integrate AI agents. Like why these people should do it? Like what's their motivation? you have to like build motivational systems and
what's interesting, I mean, that's an old rule, because like centralized system where everyone has their own responsibilities and they should not exceed them, it does not drive innovation. And I think that in a world that like
it does, but it has its limitations. In limitations, especially like, I don't know, marketing teams are small. Like even in companies that spend $1 million, they are surprisingly small, because I think that it's easier to manage everything in a smaller team, because when you have bigger team, you have politics, you have like there is a bureaucracy and crowd and too many opinions and it's so hard. So I think that, and there is this even theory that there will be 1% billion-dollar companies in the near time, because it's going to be possible to automate so much
with subcontractors, trusted agencies.
No, it's we just clear process and the value on the other side, and you just plug in your credit card and bam, bam, bam. On the other side, you have value, and then the growth is like ChatGPT, a couple of hundreds of millions of users in just a couple of months or years. I'm not sure what's the adoption of ChatGPT, to be honest, right now, but it's for sure huge. And why am I saying that? Because I think that the teams will continue to be fairly not that big, and so you have just couple of minds, and thinking about like, why should it be just one mind? It can be a couple of other people, and whoever thinks that just one person can come up with the best ideas is in my opinion, a fool. Like it's impossible. Like you always need a triangulation, different ideas, different perspectives from different technologies to blend it together and then choose the best path moving forward.
So once again, creativity, brainstorming ideas and executing them, learning based on them. Okay. I have only two last questions. And the one is our regular segment, which is called Call to Action. And I hope that you've not read my notes before the meeting, because it's the question you not know of. At least you shouldn't know. So it's more about the tech itself and how it will evolve. So we've had in our history at least a few platforms, huge platforms, social media mainly, like Facebook, like 15 years ago, TikTok 5 years ago, let's say. What's the future of platforms that will come after them? Like, how many do you think we can expect in the next few years, and maybe how will they look like? What will be their role?
I have no idea, but let me speculate a bit. So I am an idealist. I believe in big ideas, and I like to be part of it and try to add my one small thing that will lead the whole world to the right into the right direction. And by spending money with Meta, centralized huge corporations, sometimes I don't feel okay. Like I have some other areas in which I feel like I'm fulfilling my idealist, let's say, urge to kind of design something like this decentralization, autonomy, the experimentation with different culture, organizational cultures experimentation. That kind of this is the field where I feel like we experiment a lot. And but I think that decentralization of what Meta and X and Reddit and all these platforms have like acquired through the constant monitoring of our online behavior, like something that Sam Altman is working on. This side project that he's supporting is called WorldCoin, and it allows you to give you this unique ID. That's something that, and I think that the same idealist approach of like this project is about you having this unique identity, and the proof of you being you is actually your scan of your eyeball. And this is great, because then I will be able to watch non-AI generated content on Meta, on X, and my kids will not think that, I don't know, there are flying whales or something like that. Everybody can see this crazy things that are created by AI in social media. And I think that it makes this disinformation a huge problem. And I like this idea of some Altman trying to fight it. So the same thing in the advertising space. I hope that someone will create this decentralized, maybe blockchain-based information about us, so that we could actually own our own data, our own behavior, information about our own behavior, what we like, what kind of YouTube channels we follow, or maybe some video, let's say, channel, maybe on other platform than YouTube, because YouTube is centralized, maybe, and kind of democratize this data, because it is this huge value, and basically we give it away for free for the fact that we can use all this technology. But maybe it shouldn't be like that. Maybe we should participate in the and we should I don't know, have control over what we share, where are we tracked, and we give yes if we want to use. So imagine logging into Meta or Facebook, and then you actually authorize your blockchain identity to save your activity to your online blockchain profile. So that's something that I'm hopeful that the future will bring, because then actually all the benefits, all the profits from advertising networks will go not only to the platforms, like the centralized platforms, but also to the smaller ones that maybe will come up with something new and unique, and they will just need to plug in and use our data, the users' data, and also partially to us as users, that we give them the data and we kind of benefit. Of course, we benefit right now a lot because we have amazing apps for free, but maybe this can change. And I think that, what the European Union does, I think that, it's a very European perspective, I think.
Regulated.
No, I am not for regulation, but I'm for disruption that actually brings good to humanity.
Yeah, I feel like, I think that it's something that Metaverse was supposed to do, but it just didn't happen, at least not at the moment. Interesting. And it also supports this thesis of yours from the beginning of our podcast, which was the world, not only in terms of these platforms, social medias, it's all fragmented. And your idea is to somehow centralize it, make it a hub of all of our interests.
Rails or network, that everybody lives on the same network, but kind of plugs it, like API connects. We just plug it in. We pay the price, but this price is automatically distributed. That's more or less the vision.
Sounds like another version of web.
Yeah, something like that, like decentralized web. I would call it like that. I'm a huge fan of Web 3.0 and all the blockchain related things, not related to hazard. I mean to gambling and to all the things that crypto is connected with. But there are awesome technologies behind, I think, and that will change the world.
That sounds a little bit like dark AI from cyberpunk world. But let's hope it won't be this dark future. Okay, I think that the last question to you would be, what's the future for you? Because, just a background, you've had so many responsibilities in your past. You basically went from being a specialist to founder to being a CEO of a company, even
a little bit
at one point, and then going back to being a specialist, but more about analytics and nowadays strategist. AI strategist, even. Yeah. So what's next for you?
All right. So I think that my need is that I work. I chase sometimes shiny things and new things, and as you can hear, I take a deep dive into something, and it's so hard to let it go. So I need some kind of a degree of freedom and autonomy if I think that I need it from others and the organization around me. I think that I give the same to everyone around me, and that's why I believe so much in autonomy, because I need it myself to be happy. Because it's not only about money, it's about and salary and safety. It's not all about that. It's also about self-realization, and satisfaction. And I feel satisfied when I test and experiment and learn new things and see if these new things catch attention and traction. So now when this AI wave is hitting marketing world and all of us, I think that I would like to jump on this wave a little bit at least, and just give it a shot from like maybe once or twice, and maybe build something, or maybe test out some new ideas for services. For example, maybe these consultants, L-shaped consultants, maybe we should try to train them or try to find more of them and then offer that to companies. That kind of expertise, because maybe that's something that companies need, and then see if it works. If it works, then everything else follows. Like, hey, we sell it, and then we have to deliver, then we have to train new people, and then we have to like adjust and adopt and advertise, and
the cycle goes on.
And the cycle goes on, and we need more and more help of all the other smart people around us that can join to this adventure. And I think that life is an adventure, and it's and I want it to be fun and not to be a burden. And I think that everybody should have at least, not every job is awesome. Sometimes it sucks. Like 60% of a job can, it's sometimes it's terrible. But then you have these glimmers of hope at the other side, and you can there are some
have hope.
There are cool things on the other side from time to time, and I want to try to maximize these cool things for me and try to minimize the ones that are a burden or bring difficulty, and or at least if it brings some kind of difficulty or challenge, I want it to be for me to know that on the other side, when I overcome this challenge, there will be excitement that I've done it. But I wanted to do it in my own pace, because I like sometimes you have more energy, sometimes you have less, and when you have an investor or someone that is like telling you go faster and faster,
you gotta be at the highest all the time.
And it's impossible, and so that's something that I would like to avoid.
Okay,
so that's about me.
I'm pretty sure that you have many opportunities to grow at your own pace with the AI world. That's
hopefully.
Okay. I think that we'll wrap it up. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Rado, for being here with me. Wonderful as always. I had more questions from the audience, but it was not about the topic of our today's episode. So I guess that maybe one day we'll have another one about slightly different topic. Who knows? Thank you for having us, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye.